Most people think that getting older is a one-way street toward losing your energy, your memory, and your health. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. Your birthday is just a date on a calendar, but your biological age is a number we can actually control. I used to wake up feeling stiff and foggy, assuming it was just part of life, until I discovered that we can actually hit the reset button on our cells. In this video, I'm sharing the 5 lifestyle shifts I've personally used to turn back my internal clock and start feeling younger than I did a decade ago. Before we dive into the first secret, I want to see who is joining me on this journey today. Drop your city or country in the comments. Seeing this community grow from all over the world is what keeps me going. And if you're serious about mastering your health and staying sharp for the long haul, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're building a blueprint for longevity here, and I don't want you to miss a single step. The first major shift I made was flipping a biological switch in my body that most people don't even know exists. We often think that eating more frequently gives us more energy, but I found the exact opposite to be true. By changing when I eat, I triggered a natural cleaning process where my body finally started clearing out the cellular junk that was making me feel old. It's like finally taking out the trash after years of letting it pile up. Here is exactly how I started using the power of timing to repair my body from the inside out. One of the most powerful tools I've added to my routine doesn't come from a pill bottle. It comes from stepping out of my comfort zone and into extreme temperatures. We live in a world where we are constantly temperature controlled, moving from air-conditioned cars to heated offices, which actually makes our cells lazy. I started incorporating short bursts of intense heat and cold, like a hot sauna or a quick ice-cold shower, to give my system a survival spark. This isn't just about being tough, it's about signaling to my body that it needs to strengthen its internal defenses. When I subject myself to this kind of healthy stress, my body reacts by producing specialized repair proteins that act like a specialized maintenance crew for my cells. I like to think of it as a workout for my immune system. In those few minutes of extreme cold or heat, my heart rate increases and my circulation flushes out stagnant toxins, forcing my slow cells to either shape up or get replaced. I've noticed that since I started this, my recovery time after exercise has plummeted and my daily energy levels have become much more stable. If you're new to this, you don't need a professional-grade cold plunge or a fancy spa to see results. I started by simply turning the dial to ice cold for the last 30 seconds of my morning shower. That initial shock sends a rush of adrenaline through the system that clears away mental fog instantly and keeps my metabolism revving all day. It's a small, uncomfortable moment that pays off with massive long-term dividends for your biological age. It's about teaching your body to be resilient, so it stays young and capable no matter what life throws at it. For a long time, I made the mistake of thinking that if a workout didn't leave me gasping for air and drenched in sweat, it wasn't doing anything for my longevity. But the science actually shows that the real secret to staying young is slow and steady movement, specifically what's known as Zone 2 training. This is a pace where you're moving fast enough to get your heart rate up, but slow enough that you can still carry on a full conversation without struggling for breath. I started prioritizing this type of moderate activity because it targets the very engines of our cells, the mitochondria. By staying in this specific sweet spot, I'm essentially training my body to become an elite fat-burning machine while building a much stronger, more resilient heart. The reason this is so critical for reversing your biological age is that your mitochondria are the first things to decline as you get older. When these tiny power plants inside your cells become weak or clogged, you start feeling that heavy afternoon fatigue and your recovery times get longer. By doing a few hours of this steady movement every week, I'm forcing my body to create new mitochondria and repair the old ones. It's like upgrading the engine in an old car. Suddenly, everything runs smoother. You have more horsepower during the day, and you aren't creating the toxic exhaust that causes internal inflammation. I found that this foundational fitness is what allows me to keep up with people half my age without feeling burned out. The best part about this protocol is that it's incredibly easy to fit into a busy schedule because it doesn't require a gym membership or expensive gear. For me, this often looks like a brisk morning walk, a light jog, or even a steady bike ride while I'm listening to a podcast. The key is consistency over intensity.
Instead of crushing myself with a grueling 20-minute workout once a week, I aim for about 150 minutes of this conversational pace spread across my week. This simple shift has been the single most effective way I've found to keep my lungs feeling young and my energy levels consistent from the moment I wake up until my head hits the pillow. One of the biggest hidden aging factors I had to tackle was how my body handled sugar.
I realized that every time I ate a meal that caused my blood sugar to skyrocket, I was essentially rusting my body from the inside out. There's a biological process where excess sugar in your blood attaches to your proteins, like the collagen in your skin or the tissues in your arteries, and makes them stiff and brittle. I started thinking of this as a biological crust that builds up over time, leading to wrinkles, joint stiffness, and that heavy feeling of brain fog right after lunch. To stop this, I didn't just cut out every carb I loved, I learned how to build a glucose shield around my meals. The strategy that changed everything for me was simply changing the order in which I ate my food. I started following a specific sequence. I always eat my fiber and greens first, followed by my proteins and fats, and I save the starches or sugars for the very end. By putting the fiber in my stomach first, I'm creating a protective mesh that slows down how fast sugar enters my bloodstream. This simple shift prevents those massive energy crashes and protects my cells from the damage of a sugar spike. It's a way of enjoying the foods I love without allowing them to accelerate my biological clock, and the difference in my afternoon focus has been night and day. Another trick I use to keep my internal proteins rust-free is a quick shot of apple cider vinegar diluted in water before my largest meal, or even a short 10-minute walk right after eating. Both of these habits act like a sponge, soaking up excess sugar and putting it to work in your muscles, instead of letting it sit in your blood and cause damage. This isn't about dieting or deprivation, it's about managing the chemistry of your body so you aren't constantly causing micro-injuries to your system. By keeping my blood sugar stable, I'm ensuring that my cells stay flexible, my skin stays clear, and my internal age stays significantly lower than the number on my driver's license. The final piece of the longevity puzzle I had to solve was how to give my body the fuel it needs to actually perform deep maintenance on my DNA. Inside every one of our cells, we have a specialized crew of repair enzymes whose only job is to fix the damage caused by daily life. Things like pollution, UV rays, and even just the process of breathing. But as I looked into the science, I found a startling fact. As we get older, these construction workers start to run out of energy. Specifically, they run out of a molecule called NAD+. Think of NAD+ as the electricity that keeps the repair shop open. Without it, your DNA starts to accumulate glitches, which is one of the primary reasons we start to look and feel older.
When I realized that my NAD+ levels were naturally dropping every year, I knew I had to find a way to top off the tank. I started focusing on giving my body the raw materials it needs to keep that electricity flowing. This involves a combination of eating nutrient-dense foods like leafy greens and mushrooms, but also considering specific longevity supplements that act as direct precursors to NAD+. Since I started this, the change hasn't just been on the inside. I've noticed a massive boost in my mental clarity and my overall physical resilience. It's like I've finally given my body's internal repair shop the budget it needs to stay open 24 hours a day, fixing problems before they turn into permanent aging. But you don't always need a supplement to keep your DNA repair crew active. I've found that many of the habits we've already talked about, like short bursts of intense exercise and getting high-quality sleep, actually help preserve the NAD+ you already have. By protecting this precious resource, you're ensuring that your body remains in repair mode rather than decline mode. This is the ultimate goal of reversing your biological age, giving your cells the energy to stay young, vibrant, and capable of healing themselves. By combining these smart lifestyle choices with the right cellular fuel, you aren't just slowing down the clock, you're effectively rewiring your system to operate at a much younger level. Beyond the physical habits and cellular fuel, I had to address the silent drain on my biological clock, chronic stress and high cortisol. I used to think stress was just a feeling in my head, but the science is clear. It is a physical toxin that literally rusts your brain and shreds the protective caps on your DNA. When you are constantly stressed, your body stays in survival mode, which means it completely shuts down the repair and longevity processes we've been talking about. I realized that if I didn't learn to lower my cortisol, I was basically hitting the gas and the brakes at the same time. To fix this, I stopped trying to manage stress and started using a physiological reset button through my breath. I adopted a practice called box breathing, a technique used by elite athletes in Navy SEALs to instantly flip the nervous system from fight or flight to rest and repair. By controlling the rhythm of my breath, I'm sending a direct signal to my brain that the danger has passed. This isn't just about feeling calm, it's about lowering systemic inflammation and allowing my body to redirect its energy back towards cellular regeneration. It's one of the fastest ways to stop the accelerated aging caused by a frantic modern lifestyle. The impact of managing this silent drain has been profound for my mental age and focus. When your cortisol levels are balanced, your brain's cleaning system can actually do its job, clearing out the fog and keeping your cognitive gears moving smoothly. I now view these 2-minute breathing breaks as a mandatory part of my anti-aging protocol, just as important as any supplement or workout. By taking control of my stress response, I'm ensuring that my body stays in a state of growth and repair, keeping me sharp, resilient, and biologically younger than my years would suggest. I finally had to admit that I was treating sleep like a luxury I could skip, when in reality, it is the most powerful anti-aging drug we have. During the day, your brain is busy processing information, but it also creates a lot of metabolic waste, essentially brain trash. I learned that it's only during deep sleep that a specialized system, which I call the brain's dishwasher, actually turns on to flush these toxins out. If you aren't getting into those deep stages of rest, that trash stays in your system, leading to the brain fog and cognitive decline we often mistake for just getting old. To make sure my internal dishwasher was running at full capacity, I had to stop leaving my sleep to chance. I started treating my bedroom like a high-performance recovery lab. I found that my body's biological clock is incredibly sensitive to light and temperature. By dropping the room temperature to a cool 65 degrees and cutting out the blue light from my phone 2 hours before bed, I signaled to my brain that it was time to start the deep repair process. This wasn't about sleeping longer, it was about sleeping deeper, so my cells could spend the night patching up my DNA and resetting my hormones for the next day. The results of prioritizing this nightly detox have been a total game changer for my biological age.
When you wake up after a night of true, deep repair, your skin looks tighter, your mood is more stable, and your focus is razor sharp. I've realized that I can do all the fasting and workouts in the world, but if I don't give my body the window it needs to rebuild, I'm just spinning my wheels. By mastering my sleep environment, I've ensured that every single night is an active step toward a younger, more vibrant version of myself. It's the ultimate foundation that makes every other longevity habit actually work. Concept into a tangible score that I could actively work to improve. I now view these tests as my report card for longevity. When I see my inflammation markers go down or my metabolic health improve, it gives me the scientific proof that the fasting, the cold plunges, and the sleep habits are actually working at a cellular level. It turns a feeling of being healthy into a fact of being younger.
The best part is that you don't need a massive budget to start being the CEO of your own health. While advanced DNA tests are great, I tell everyone to start with a basic, comprehensive blood panel that you can request from your primary care physician. Look for a marker called high-sensitivity CRP, which is like a smoke detector for inflammation in your body. Once you have your baseline data, you're no longer just trying things out. You're executing a data-driven plan to stay young. This shift from reactive medicine to proactive tracking has been the single most empowering part of my journey because it puts the remote control of the aging process back where it belongs, in my own hands. Everything we've discussed today boils down to one simple truth. Longevity is a game of compounding interest. You don't need to be perfect starting tomorrow, and you don't need to overhaul your entire life in 24 hours.
Reversing your biological age is about the small, consistent wins. The extra glass of water before a meal, the 30-second cold shower, or choosing to walk while you take a phone call. I've found that when you stop fighting against time and start working with your biology, your body rewards you with a level of energy and clarity you thought was gone forever. I want you to look at these 8 steps not as a chore, but as a blueprint for your future self. My challenge for you today is simple. Pick just one of these habits and commit to it for the next 7 days. Whether it's fixing your sleep environment or trying out Zone 2 training, just start. I've seen firsthand how one small change creates a ripple effect that transforms your entire health profile. Remember, you are the CEO of your own body, and every choice you make today is a vote for the person you want to be 10, 20, or even 50 years from now.
If you found this breakdown helpful and you're ready to take back control of your health, make sure to like this video. We are diving deep into the science of human performance every single week, and I want to help you turn these scientific breakthroughs into a lifestyle that works for you. Don't forget to let me know in the comments which habit you're starting today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video as we continue to unlock your body's full potential.